Second round between Melendez and Lauzon. Lauzon looks fine. Melendez looks ready to go. Brandon Melendez, finishing ability, very explosive, has some very dangerous hands. Decorated champion at many weights in the state of Utah. Born and raised in Bountiful, Utah. And training out there with UFC veteran Jeremy Horn.
He took some good advice from Jeremy Horn in the corner. And Jeremy said, stop the shot, then throw your punches. And so you see he's kind of changed his posture a little. Good shot right there by Brandon.
Ducking under nicely. Joe Lauzon had that time perfectly, Joe.
Yeah, he's got a real good game plan for this fight.
And you kind of talked about it. He doesn't want to get into just a swinging for the fences battle, if you will, with the heavy-handed Brandon Melendez, and passes guard again.
Very nice. Joe's a very intelligent guy, and you know he doesn't fight reckless. He fights smart and aggressive.
How many times can Melendez avoid being submitted?
You know what? I mean, he's avoided the entire first round, and it was never in any danger except for that heel hook.
Right.
The heel hook was the closest one, and he spun out of that. He's got great submission defense.
And again, as we talked about, training with Jeremy Horn, that is not that surprising.
There you go.
And again, pushed up against the fence, similar to what we saw in the first round, is Joe Lauzon.
Yeah, and that's a good thing for him because it keeps Joe from swinging back and getting any leverage into his punches, and it keeps him from stretching him out. And what Brandon's going to try to do is just what he did before. He's going to try to find a little space and an opening and spin around so that he's in Joe's guard and he's on top. He's looking for his spot, and Joe's trying to control his arm with that leg.
Lauzon, couple rabbit punches. Can he get a little room here? Can he get enough room here? No. Melendez does a nice job again.
There it is. Triangle. Triangle. Oh, he let it go. But the legs are still in the position. If Joe can hold his position and pull his foot down, he's got his foot. He cinched it up.
Trying to finish it.
He's got the triangle.
And
that's
it is all over. Joe Lauzon with the triangle.
Very, very nice.
He submits Brandon Melendez, and we said a moment ago, how many more times? Well, not any more than that one.
He couldn't get him with the rear naked choke, but he eventually finished him with a triangle. Very nice. Good job of showing the versatility by Joe Lauzon. Brandon did what he did before, spun him on top, but Joe must have anticipated it. Immediately went for that leg over the shoulder. Tried to get the triangle at first, but he couldn't get the foot locked under. So you see him reach up, he grabs a hold of his foot, cinches it down, squeezes the legs, and Melendez forced the tap. A very exciting fight.
Well, Joe Lauzon showed his entire ground arsenal as he continuously went after submissions and finishes with the triangle choke. So Lauzon the winner, and here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 9 seconds of the second round due to a tap out from a triangle choke, declaring the winner, Joe J. Lauzon.
So this kid is much more than the guy who beat Jens Pulver. And here's Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Joe Lauzon. Now, Joe, great job of avoiding the strikes and getting him onto the ground. Did you feel like you couldn't finish him from his back, so you wanted to get onto your back and get him with a triangle?
Going to the fight, I kind of knew that he really likes to kind of give up his back to, because he's got good defense. I didn't want to take his back, but he just kept giving it, so I took it.
So his strategy was, did you think like every time you got his back, he just wanted to spin to get into your guard?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's what
great job finishing. Take a look at the big screen and talk us through this triangle. Very nice.
I just, every single time that, he got in my guard, he kept bombing with the left hand, so I just kind of waited for it. As soon as he brought it back, threw my leg over it, tightened it up, got the tap.
Well, great strategy, great victory. We look forward to seeing you again. Joe Lauzon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job, brother.
Joe Lauzon wins again here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Made it to the semi. Welcome back live to the Pearl at the Palms here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Speaking of beautiful, the lovely Rochelle Leah, the host of UFC All Access, right here only on Spike TV. The Ultimate Fighters competed for 6 weeks. They lived in virtual isolation, and now it's down to the finale. One man will be the next Ultimate Fighter. It will either be Nate Diaz or Manvel Gamburyan. Mike Gilbert, Joe Rogan, been a great night thus far, and the best is still ahead. Dana White said it at the end of the show. He underestimated the little man, Manvel Gamburyan. He should not be underestimated.
Yeah, well, you know, no one can underestimate him now. I mean, he's a training partner, a cousin, a student of the great Carl Parisian, and he's an animal. I mean, Manvel is just one really tough, powerful judo guy. He's a very physical fighter, very determined guy, and a very difficult opponent for anyone.
One thing we did know coming in is that Nate Diaz would be a factor in the competition because you and I had watched Nick Diaz fight before.
Yeah, and I have seen video online of Nick and Nate training together,
Wow.
and Nate hangs with Nick. I mean, Nick is fantastic. He's one of the best fighters in the world. His victory over Gomi in Pride was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my life. I mean, both of them are fantastic, and Nate is a mirror image of his brother. He's phenomenal jiu-jitsu guy. He's got great boxing, tremendous heart, tremendous cardio, and he loves to fight. I mean, that dude will fight in the parking lot. He's a scrapper. And this is going to be a great fight.
Teammates throughout the competition, but only one man will be the next Ultimate Fighter, and he will be it at 155.
Oh, it's really good to be back home. I've been with my family in the United States, in Hollywood, for 16 years. My dad is so cool. My dad works out with me too. My mom, she cooks. I got a really good family. Everything I need, they're there for me. I've been training for 16 years. Go Cross and Jeans Academy in North Hollywood. You want to be the best, you have to train. What I do, I train every day hard. That's my goal, to be the best in 155. The only way you're gonna beat me, train harder than me. Nate, you're in finals, I'm in finals. Let's put on a show. It's gonna be Carl Parisian, Nick Diaz too. Don't you miss it. It's gonna be crazy, sick. Plus, it's my mom's birthday. I asked my mom, what do you want for your birthday? Because I want you to win. When I finish June 23rd, when they raise my hand, then I can party. Hard.
I live in Stockton, California, and I fight at a Cesar Gracie fight team. When I left Vegas from the Ultimate Fighter show, I had all these plans to go out. I was ready to go have some fun, you know? But once I got home, I was just so happy to be home with the TV and a radio. I turned my phone off. I hung out my house for days. I just didn't do anything. Manny, he's gonna come hard, so I know I gotta be in shape. I'm training hard. I'm coming to win. We start our mornings early, and we end our nights late. We gotta box. We gotta wrestle. We gotta do jiu-jitsu. And then you gotta get your cardio in, you know? Running constantly, I'm constantly running. It's hard to get everything packed in one day. And like after I got done with that, I was like, do 3 5-minute rounds, cake.
And it's with great pride that I give this to Nick Diaz tonight.
People ask me about being Nick's brother all the time, you know, like, you're in the shadow of the Nick Diaz. And I'm like, so bad about the shadow of Nick Diaz. Better him than the shadow of Carl Parisian. That'd suck. He's dope, man. He's the man, you know. This is the most important one yet. I gotta win this one, you know. Probably this one is like I never accomplished. To accomplish this, I gotta whoop his ass, so that's what I'm coming to do. Coming to whoop his ass.
years old. He immigrated from Armenia at 10 years old, 1991, turned professional at age 17. He's been training with his cousin Carl Parisian for a decade and a half. He says he's 5'5". We're not sure that isn't overestimated a bit, but I will tell you this. The man is as strong as anyone we have seen in this weight division before.
He is a tank, and he has that, what you call judo strength.
Yep.
I mean, guys who develop their body over the years of, growing up, throwing bodies around, just grabbing a hold of collars and hoisting grown men over their shoulders and slamming them down on the ground. To be an 8-time national junior judo champion, I mean, you got to be in phenomenal condition. The posture that these guys have and the amount of core strength they have is incredible. And until you've rolled with a great judo guy like Caro or like a Manvel Gamburyan, I mean, you really have to experience it to understand it. He's an incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, and an incredibly driven guy. He's got a ton of energy. He fights at a frantic pace, and him and Nate Diaz together is just a dream matchup at 155 pounds.
In 2001, Manny went the distance with lightweight champion Sean Shirk, so you realize how talented he is. But tonight could be the greatest night of his mixed martial arts career as Manvel the Anvil. Manvel Gamburyan steps into the octagon for this, the Ultimate Fighter 5 finale. And he will take on one of his teammates, someone he trained with day in and day out, lived in the house with, that being the little brother of Nick Diaz, 22-year-old Nate Diaz.
This is what makes me. This is what I am.
Stockton, California, born and raised. Ran through not one, not two, but three opponents, including Gray Maynard. During the competition, he has tremendous poise, incredible jiu-jitsu skills, and a mentality very much like Manny's in that he brings a warrior spirit into every matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, you couldn't ask for two better competitors to be fighting in the finals. Nate Diaz, the younger brother of Nick, is very similar to his brother. He has very good boxing skills, very good jiu-jitsu skills, incredible cardio, and he comes from that Caesar Grayson team. You see that guy over to the right, Jake Shields, another phenomenal competitor in the welterweight division. Gilbert Melendez right next to him, another great guy. They come from such a fantastic camp. There's so many great fighters that come out of there, and Nate has literally grown up there. He's grown up with his brother. They've been training together for years and years, and he is a true fighter. The kid, just like Manny, has a fighter's mentality. He will give you 100%. He's here to win it. He will not be overwhelmed by the moment, and he will give you 100% of his ability tonight in this final.
Joe, I thought it was interesting what Nate said about maybe being overshadowed by his big brother. He loves and admires his big brother, and his big brother is one of the reasons why he has excelled so brilliantly. Hey, I'm his little brother. I love my big brother, but tonight is my night, and I will be, he says, the next Ultimate Fighter.
And he has benefited greatly from being his younger brother. To have a guy like Nick Diaz as a constant training partner. I mean, how many bouts do these guys have in the middle of the living room? We didn't see at Caesar Grayson's place.
Scary for mom and dad, I'm sure. So we have reached the finale after all the blood, sweat, and tears that took place on the Ultimate Fighter 5. Our tale of the tape for this lightweight finale. Nate Diaz, 22 years old, 4 years younger than the Armenian-born Manvel the Anvil Gamburyan. Manny listed at 5'5", Nate Diaz at 6 foot, which gives Nate a definitive and sizable reach advantage. The finale is upon us. And with the official introductions, once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. Two men have now entered the octagon to prove tonight who will be the ultimate finale lightweight winner. And now, it's time! This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 5 wins with 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Hollywood, California, Manvel Gamburyan. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 5 wins with 2 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Stockton, California, Nate Diaz! And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Herb Dean.
Okay, gentlemen, we've gone over your instructions already. Follow my instructions at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves, come out ready to do this.
Think these guys are ready to go?
As ready as you can get.
6-figure contract is on the line. And the honor of being the next Ultimate Fighter, Nate Diaz, against Manvel Gamburyan.
Ready to fight? Ready. Do it.
And the lightweight finale is underway. Tonight's collect, sponsored by the Ultimate Action Film Transformers. Looking for the early takedown is Gamburyan. Gamburyan in the purple trunks, Diaz in the yellow trunks, both representing Team Pulver.
Nate trying for a Kimura.
Nate transitions from submission attempts brilliantly. Right now, it's Manny trying to finish it early. He's got that great strength, Joe.
Whoa, it's deep.
And Nate able to pop out. Great job done by Diaz. Manny loves to overpower his opponent, as you saw on the show.
That was a very tight guillotine attempt.
Diaz, remember, was a bit overwhelmed early by Gray Maynard in the semifinals, but once he got his chance to finish it, he did it immediately with the submission.
Yeah, well, he's got incredible heart, just like his brother. He can endure all sorts of punishment and keep his composure. And that is an important facet, and he's going to really need that tonight against Manvel Gamburyan, because Manny is a little pit bull.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Ultimate Fighter designed to find tomorrow's stars, and these are 2 of them right here. Manvel all over him early.
Manny's got his back. Nate standing up.
Nate knew that Manny would come out with this pace, Joe, undoubtedly.
Yeah, he had to know. I mean, he was in the house with them.
Absolutely.
He watched all of his fights.
And Diaz is incredibly poised, as I mentioned before.
Diaz trying to turn into him here, trying to use that underhook. There he goes. Nice turn towards Manny. This is a better position than letting Manny have his back. He's going to get that underhook on the right-hand side. He's got that. And I think ideally he would like to spin away and get free of Manny and use that incredible reach advantage that he has.
Same time, Manny would love to get a takedown here, utilizing his judo. He gets the takedown of Nate Diaz.
Good job by Nate, though, of spinning out of that and getting the guard.
It was so impressive, and Dana White talked about it, how Diaz continuously went after submission and submission and submission in his semifinal win over Maynard.
Yeah, I mean, he does do that at a relentless pace. So any mistake that you make is going to cinch something up. Manny's got his back here, though.
Good start for Manny.
Now Manny's on top of Nate's guard. And Manny's one of those guys that just can keep you on your back, keep you down, and just overwhelm you with strikes. And overwhelm you with pressure and strength. And he's so well-versed in submissions himself that it's very difficult to catch. That plus the short arms. It's very difficult to catch a guy with such short arms and arm bars. Good right hands by Manny from the top.
Really trying to tee off here, even inside the closed guard of Nate Diaz.
Nate trying to I'm saying he's trying to roll for Kimura on the left side.
And Joe, these are two very young men who have great futures in this sport of mixed martial arts.
Oh, without a doubt, we will see both of these guys either way, no matter who wins.
Tonight one might be the Ultimate Fighter. Someday one of these guys could be battling for the lightweight championship.
Oh, he pulls out of it. And that's what I'm saying. That little short arms are just so easy to just yank out of it. You know, long arms like Nate's are a lot more difficult, a lot more ground to cover to get out of something. And Nate, again, constantly trying to submission. He's trying to Kimura on Manny's right arm.
Manny's jiu-jitsu skills are also very good. Manny continuing to try to punish.
Manny
dictating the pace.
Manny, a student of Gokar Kavician and the great judo Gene LaBelle. And, you know, I mean, the kid's grown up his whole life in judo and submission grappling, and it's going to be very tough to catch him.
And as we talk so much about a great role model in older brother Nick Diaz, what a great role model and mentor Manny has in his cousin Carl Parisian, coming off a huge win in the UFC.
And just like Nate is very proud of his brother Nick, Manny is very proud of his cousin Caro.
Who was not so impressed with Nate Diaz on the show, by the way, but that's a story for another time.
Ego is a strange thing, my friend. All right, Manny's on top. Manny's got a hold of Nate's neck again. I mean, the strength of Manny, he's such a little pit bull. I mean, it's the perfect definition of a dude. Perfect description.
Final seconds of round number one. And the Anvil looking very good in our first 5 minutes of competition. Nate Diaz. Manny Gamburyan. Second round. Only one man will lead as the Ultimate Fighter. Round one had to go to Manvel the Anvil.
But he definitely came the closest to finishing the fight with that guillotine that he had early on.
Looking for the takedown, good sprawl. It's all over.
He hurt himself.
It is all over.
His shoulder's dislocated.
Gamburyan dislocates his shoulder on a takedown attempt. And Nate Diaz is the Ultimate Fighter.
What an unfortunate way to end it. You can see the bone popping out of his shoulder. And let me tell you something, a guy like Manny is not going to quit unless he is in intense pain and he knows he's really injured. Sit him up.
Unbelievable.
What a tragic end to a great fight. Let's look at how it happened. Manvel shoots in. And it looks like right away, oh, you see it poking out? You see it poking out on the top? That's it right there. Now, it's tough to tell if his collarbone was broken or if his shoulder was dislocated, but it's very obvious where the injury happened. It was right there. Just a freak accident. Something popped off, and you see Manny tapping right away.
Our second bizarre finish of the night, Joe.
Very, very unfortunate for Manny Gamburyan. And you know what? Nate Diaz, I'm sure he doesn't want to win like this. I mean, this kid wants to win by beating the guy down. And unfortunately, that's a part of this crazy sport.
Diaz is the victor. The Palms electric tonight for the Ultimate Finale live on Spike TV. Stunning, absolutely stunning. But I'll tell you, a warrior spirit, but you cannot continue to fight with a shoulder in the condition of Manny's. Manny Gamburyan popped the shoulder out, looking for the takedown, visibly still in pain, and unable to continue. And with that, Nate Diaz is the Ultimate Fighter. Will these guys meet again? Yeah, if it's up to Joe Silva, maybe as soon as Manny's healed. But tonight, the night belongs to Nate Diaz, as Manny still is being attended to. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 20 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by tap out, and now the Ultimate Finale lightweight winner, Nate Diaz!
He is the Ultimate Fighter. UFC President Dana White set to make the official presentation of the lightweight trophy to the winner, Nate Diaz.
All right, Nate, congratulations. On behalf of the UFC, you are the lightweight Ultimate Fighter. You get the 6-figure contract with the UFC. You get the trophy. And you also get a customized watch brought to you by High Mob Watches.
All right, baby, give it to him.
Congratulations, buddy. You're the winner.
Here's Joe Rogan with the winner.
All right, Nate Diaz. First of all, Nate, congratulations. It was a long road for you, a long road in the house, and I know you didn't want the finals to end this way. It was a great first round. The second round, Manny was injured. Give us your thoughts about your time in the house and what this all came to tonight.
The Ultimate Fighter house sucked, man. I fucking recommend it, to be honest with you, but I'm glad this all went down for me today. I feel like I should have got off to a better start. Manny did an awesome job. I know he works hard. I train with him in the house. He's a very hard worker, and he's a good guy, good, respectful guy. I got a lot of respect for him, and it was a tough fight. Regardless of the end of it, I got to a slow start, and he did awesome.
Well, Nate, you had some great fights in the house. You had great submissions, and you had a great fight here tonight, a great first round. I know we're going to see you again. You're a young guy. You got a beautiful career ahead of you, and we look forward to seeing you in the UFC. Congratulations.
Hell yeah, I'm coming back for sure to make all kinds of. But anyways, I want to thank my team, Cesar Gracie Fight Team, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and my buddies Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, my whole team, all the teams out there, mainly my brother Nick Diaz, that they will not let him corner me here, but I wish they would have. He's running around the crowd. They wouldn't even let him in the back. You know, I wish, the UFC was respectful. They got him in and everything, but I wish we could work something out where they show him a little more respect in the future. And thanks to Manvel Gamburyan, and thank you a lot, Dana White, for everything.
Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen.
And now Joe with a disappointed Manny.
All right, Manny, it's a crazy sport, and crazy things happen, and unfortunate accidents happen. It was a great first round. It looked like you won the first round. What are your thoughts about the second round, the beginning of it, and the injury?
It was hard. I trained really hard for this fight. I never trained like this before. I know Nate's gonna come out strong. I trained really hard, really hard. I know he's a tough guy. It was gonna be a battle, be back and forth, but I was prepared. I thought I was gonna win. But sorry I couldn't continue. My shoulder popped out again. It happens, It happens in my last fight against Joe Lauzon. I went back home. It was okay, but I popped it again. So
this is a reoccurring injury?
Yeah, it's not a new injury, so it happened again in my last fight against Joe Lauzon.
All right, Manny, take a look up at the big screen and look at the injury as it happened. It's the beginning of the second round.
Right over there, when I go for left leg, I popped it out. He's sprawled really good, and I popped it out. I was trying to bring it back. I was just working on it so I can bring it back. It didn't come back. So it was hurting so bad, I thought I broke my shoulder and my neck same time. I was hurt really bad. I know I can fight hard, but it was really bad pain. I can continue. Sorry.
Well, you know what, Manny? No one's questioning your heart. You had some fantastic fights in the house. A great first round tonight. And I know for sure we're going to see you make some noise here in the UFC. Manvel Gamburyan, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing to be ashamed of for Manvel Gamburyan. The winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5 competition from Stockton, California, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz wins 20 seconds into the second round and becomes a legend, at least of the Ultimate Fighter. A final look backstage as the rematch is set between Jens Pulver, the former lightweight champion, and BJ Penn, the former UFC welterweight champion. The coaches will collide. Coming up next, it is our main event of the evening. Little Evil, Jens Pulver.
Way in my skin, man. Easy my thoughts. Every time he says something, kicks me harder than most people, I don't know why. My whole career has been about hearing about BJ Penn.
Against the prodigy, BJ Penn.
I honestly think that Jens made his whole career off beating BJ Penn. Jens made his whole career off that night, off my expense. It's time for Jens Pulver to stop living off BJ Penn. If I beat Jens Pulver, no one cares I beat Jens Pulver. Whatever, But That's what it's about. It's time for him to stop living off me.
A live look inside the locker room of the prodigy, BJ Penn. Wow, he is enthused and energetic, and he definitely feels like tonight will be the night that he finally gets redemption against the man he probably dislikes more than anyone in the fight game, and that is this man, the former lightweight champion who defeated him to retain his title at UFC 75. Little Evil, Jens Pulver. They were great coaches. They gave us great entertainment, and tonight they will settle a score that has lasted for a very long time. That fight is still coming up tonight, but first, some of their students will collide once again. A member of both Team Penn and Team Pulver, self-proclaimed warrior Andy Wang meets American top teamer and fellow Ultimate Fighter 5 Cats member Cole Miller. The 155-pound landscape will change significantly after tonight's lightweight pack card. Up-and-comers Andy Wang and Cole Miller know that in order to be part of this mix, they must emerge victorious.
I am one of the best 155-pounders in the UFC because I train hard, I have the skills. The most important factor is I want to win.
I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening if he's, sat there and told himself that he's going to be walking away with his hand raised, because he's just going to be the one getting dinked on.
Andy Wang's tendency to abandon his game plan and bang with his opponents cost him on Season 5. Learning from his mistakes, the skilled grappler has learned now to stick with what got him here, and he plans on making Cole Miller the recipient of this newfound discipline.
I'm going to break Cole. That's what I want to do. I want to break him. But I'm going to win this fight because it's my time.
If Andy thinks that he can break my spirit, he's crazy.
Cole Miller has sailed to the top of the list of 155-pound prospects. His talents on the feet and ground were evident during Season 5's lightweight competition. Tonight, he looks to showcase those skills once again and reign supreme over Andy Wang.
Expect to see a lot of new skills from me. You're going to see his head used for target practice.
Our tale of the tape for this lightweight matchup here at the Pearl at the Palms. 23-year-old American Cole Miller against the young man born in Taiwan. Andy Wang is 30 years old now. At 6'1", this dude is a very tall lightweight and has a definitive reach advantage of 8 inches in tonight's fight. For the official introductions, once again, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 8 wins with 6 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, Andy Wang. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a boxer and Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record of 11 wins with 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Cole Magrino Miller. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of this contest is Eve Loving.
Eve Levine, our referee. Cole Miller and Andy Wang, teammates at the end of the Ultimate Fighter 5.
Are you ready? Are you ready, sir? Fight! I'm over here, Cole.
And they touch. Huge reach advantage for Cole Miller. Tonight's clock sponsored by the Ultimate Action film Transformers. Utilizing that reach advantage early, trying to step into the jab and extend.
Andy Wang is a very, very good jiu-jitsu fighter. Unfortunately, when we saw him on The Ultimate Fighter, we didn't see any of that. Good right hand by Miller.
And he ticked BJ Penn off in the process, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make any sense. His fight strategy that he used made no sense on the show. Now, this is what makes sense. If Andy grabs a hold of him, takes him to the ground, and tries to work his jiu-jitsu. But standing and banging, especially with a tall guy like Cole Miller, is kind of crazy.
It cost him the decision to Brandon Melendez. and eventually really kind of ruined his relationship with BJ Penn.
Well, it just didn't make any sense. Brandon had a clear advantage in the striking, and, it seemed like Andy Wang would have a clear advantage if he got the fight to the ground.
Oh, big kick, down goes Wang.
Andy's in big trouble.
Miller trying to finish it. That kick landed square.
Andy's still in big trouble.
And it is all over. Cole Miller defeats Andy Wang. Wow. What a huge kick.
Andy Wang is protesting it right now. He's saying he's fine. He was defending himself. He's very upset at the stoppage. He believes it was a quick stoppage with Cole's brother, Micah Miller, who is a very talented fighter himself, fights in the WEC, celebrating Charles McCarthy there. Let's take a look at the replay and see if this was a justified stoppage. It was a big left high kick. Bang! Right there. Andy's in big trouble. Cole lands a couple shots right there. Tees off. Andy pushes him off. Couple more shots. That last one landed clean. One extra clean one. It looked like Eve had seen that Andy was in trouble, and he thought one more shot will do it.
All right. Wow, absolutely electric with the high kick, Cole Miller. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Leving has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute 10 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, Cole Magrino Miller.
Lean and mean is Cole Miller. One of the best kicks we have seen in UFC history. Wang gracious in defeat. Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Cole Miller. Cole, big head kick, started it off. You finished it on the ground. Andy was complaining, but do you feel like it was a justified stoppage?
I thought it was justifiable. Before I say anything, I'm going to dedicate this fight to my grandfather, John Miller. He's my reason for breathing. He's my entire life. I love him.
All right, man, very emotional. Take a look at the big screen, Cole, and talk us through the end of the fight.
We're clinching up here. He throws the hook. You can see the high kick land. You know, I compete awesome. That's like where I thrive best. Not in the gym, but in the octagon. So I see it, killer instinct, pounce on him, finish it up. Train American Top Team. Those guys are helping me out. Ultimate Self-Defense, Rush MMA. All you guys, special thanks to Nate and Nick Diaz for training with me this week.
Congratulations.
209-478.
Cole Miller, give it out area codes. Cole Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Cole Miller with the left head kick. That was the beginning of the end very quickly. There you see Chainsaw Charles McCarthy. Miller wins in the first. Welcome back to the Ultimate Finale Live. And now it is time for the coaches to meet once again. The first ever UFC lightweight champion, Jens Pulver, who defeated BJ Penn at UFC 35, will fight against Penn again here tonight. It is our main event of the evening. The war of words has just escalated throughout the entire Ultimate Fighter series. And realistically, what was most entertaining was the one day when they were picking teams or matchups. I remember that moment, and BJ Penn said, "Can't we just get to the finale already so I can finally shut Jens Pulver up?"
Yeah, well, the bad blood is very, very real, and it comes in BJ Penn's side. It definitely comes from the first fight that they had. BJ was heavily favored in that first fight, and Jens won a decision, and it was a very close decision. It was a very close fight, but Jens outboxed him. Jens was able to avoid the submissions, and Jens was able to avoid the odds makers. Everybody thought that Jens was going to be overwhelmed, and he wasn't, and he proved them all wrong, and he believes he can do the same thing tonight.
BJ Penn has said that he has never been so motivated in his life to fight as he is tonight at 155. And Jens Pulver said because of BJ Penn, he feels reborn.
Well, Jens has never looked better. I mean, he's 152 pounds. That's what he weighed in at. And he looked shredded. And he said, you know, I want to thank this guy for lighting a fire under me, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten this kind of shape. You know, Jens has been fighting a long time, and it might take something like this fight with BJ Penn to get the real Jens Pulver back so we can see what he's really capable of.
This is a treat and a bonus for the first time ever here on live TV on Spike. The coaches will compete, Pulver and Penn.
I live in Hilo, Hawaii, and when I'm at home, going to the beach, hanging out. Don't get stuck in traffic too much and just take it easy. The academy where we're at used to be the old cracker factory. Everybody in Hilo knows it. You drive by, you could smell the cookies and the crackers. Me and my brothers, we did the whole thing. It's just such a big help to the community and to the kids around.
Let's do them. Come on, kick.
I knew I had to improve my conditioning. That was the only problem that I ever had. So I called Tony Aponte.
Feet up.
World-class nutrition and strength and conditioning coach, and it's really a blessing meeting up with him. This is how I train for Jens Pulver.
What's up, Jens?
People have been telling me for years that you're the best and this and that, and I want to prove all of them right. It's good that I get to test out the new BJ Penn on Jens Pulver because Jens did put a stop in my career when I was coming up for that title.
Let's go, come on, kick it up.
I can tell every time I look in his eyes, he doesn't want this fight. He never did want this fight. I know he knows he's gonna lose. I think maybe I'll grab his arm, hold it, then look at the crowd and be like, yes or no? If you want me to break it, go like this. If you want him to live, go like this.
Yeah, come on.
I see the fight with Jens ending with everybody with their hand like this.
I live in Bettendorf, Iowa, right in the Midwest. I bought this house, and I had to grow up at some time. That's where I call home. Yeah, that's right. I'm eating on the Madagascar plate. Corey Hill, he's here. And Ty, he's been right there day in and day out doing what he's supposed to do, dealing with me. It's just a training house right now. No real distractions. When I came back from the show, I met somebody I'd forgotten about for a long time. That was me. I kid you not when I say I completely started over. I lost everything inside of me that was holding me down. I train at MFS. I've been there 7 years now. Come from a long group of great fighters, Matt Hughes, Tim Sylvia, Jeremy Horn. I'm conditioned. I beat my body up, put it through hell to go out there and do something no one else has done. I'm gonna knock BJ out. He don't know me, because he ain't never met me. He's got no idea what's coming at him. I've already asked, and they said yes. They're gonna let me out the gates of hell and bring me into the octagon and let me do what I gotta do. Comes at me, I'm gonna blast. Shoots, I'm gonna stuff it. If he goes for a submission, I'm gonna defend it. As it stands, I just don't want to beat him. I won't beat the hell out of him.
Of the Hawaiian nation, the Hawaiians rise for justice and history for our people who stand.
The Hilo Kid, the proud Hawaiian, and considered by many to be the greatest mixed martial artist pound for pound in the world. Former welterweight champion BJ Penn has entered the Pro at the Pulse. You
want to talk about a hero in his hometown. I went to Hilo recently, and everywhere you go, that's all people were asking me. BJ Penn, BJ Penn, BJ Penn. I mean, he's a tremendous star over there. He's a phenomenal natural athlete. He's got unbelievable flexibility, incredible dexterity in his legs. He can take his foot without even touching it and put his legs around his head. Here's a guy who won the World Jiu-Jitsu Championships after he had been training for 3 years as a black belt. I mean, that is incredible. He is, I mean, his nickname is so perfect, the Prodigy. But like very many naturally talented people that things come to them very easy, it's difficult to get them to work really hard. BJ Penn, after his loss to Matt Hughes, has completely revamped his training. You saw in the pre-fight introduction, he was talking about his new training regimen that he's going through, talking about his strength and conditioning coach, his new diet, and it's evident in the way he looks.
Absolutely.
Look at him here. I mean, this is the best he's ever looked entering into the octagon. Focused, calm, not too fired up, not too lazy. I mean, this demeanor is the perfect demeanor for a fighter entering a big fight.
The first time at 155 pounds since 2003. Penn, the first non-Brazilian to win the World Championships at the black belt level, but now he wants to beat his archenemy, Jens Pulver. Lightweight champion of the UFC, Little Evil, Jens Pulver.
Jens Pulver has fantastic hands. He has fought as a professional boxer, fought at a lighter weight actually, fought at 145 pounds. He's got a great southpaw style, beautiful left hand. He's got great takedown defense. And when pushed against the corner, Jens Pulver will fight like a wild animal. And he believes he is pushed against the corner in this fight. Everybody has counted him out, just like they did in the first fight, and he believes he's going to come in here and he's going to shock the world just like he did in the first fight.
And shocked is the proper way to put it, because virtually no one said that Jens Pulver would retain the title back at UFC 35 in January of 2002. And even early in the fight, Jens was well behind. But somehow he found that warrior spirit that you alluded to, reversed the fortunes, went the entire distance of 5 rounds, 25 minutes, and retained his title.
Like I said, he's got excellent boxing skills and very underrated takedown defense. Probably some of the best takedown defense in the game. He was a state champion wrestler and, training at Militich Fighting Systems and being one of the smallest guys there, he had to develop some incredible skills.
Came in at an incredible 152 pounds. Penn made weight easily. In fact, a couple of weeks before the fight, was walking around at 158 pounds. Our tale of the tape for this, the main event of the evening. The coaches of the Ultimate Fighter 5 will fight now. Pulver, 32, 4 years older than the Prodigy, 2 inches shorter. There you see the 152 at the official weigh-ins, and Pulver gives away just an inch of reach to BJ Penn. We have waited for a long time. Penn has waited many years for this, and for the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC fight is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission with Chairman Dr. Tony Alamo, Executive Director Keith Kaiser, Commissioner Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and TJ Day. Our judges at Octagon side for this contest are Nelson Hamilton, Marcos Rosales, and Glenn Trowbridge. And our doctors are David Watson, Rodney Curson, Jeff Davidson, and Anthony Ruggiero. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Steve Mazzagatti. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Two former UFC champions have now entered the Octagon to face off against each other for the second time. And now, live from the Pearl at the Palms in Las Vegas, it's time to go to war again. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 11 wins with 4 losses and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 155 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Wainaku, Hilo, Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prodigy, BJ Penn. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 21 wins with 7 losses and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 152 pounds. Fighting out of Davenport, Iowa, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former UFC lightweight champion of the world, Jens Little Evil Pulver.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, this is it. We all expect a good, clean, fair fight. You need to obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. Hook it up. Good luck.
Intense looks by both men.
Absolutely. BJ extremely intense at the weigh-ins yesterday. He has waited so many years for this, but will tonight be the night he avenged the defeat, the first of his career. Jens Pulver, BJ Penn. We'll meet again. Pulver,
big right hand
early by BJ. Looking uppercut again.
Another right hand by BJ.
BJ pushing forward. And the takedown. Tonight's clock sponsored by the Ultimate Action Film Transformers. Good start for Penn.
This is very dangerous for him here. BJ is in his half guard. He's going to look to soften up with punches and then pass. Watch BJ's right leg when it swings out. If he can grab a hold and secure Jen's body, he's going to try to swing his right leg. There he goes.
He's a master technician at the ground game.
Well, he's also a very unusual guy to prepare for because of the dexterity that he has in his legs. He can make himself do some very strange things with his legs. He just can move them in ways that most people can't, and it's very difficult to prepare for a guy like that.
Penn pulls his head out.
Jens is doing a good job so far of avoiding anything. Jens is trying to stand back up. BJ's got him again.
And a takedown. Yep.
Same position. Same position, half guard. BJ securing Jen's body. And once he gets a real good spot, then he's going to look to finish. But so far, Jens is doing a great job of keeping that knee, his left knee, in between him and BJ, and forcing BJ to constantly move.
Jens trying to weather this early storm.
All right, BJ just locked down on Jen's leg. The only thing protecting him now, he's still in half guard. BJ gets that underhook to the left side.
And he has the mount.
This is bad.
He has passed Jens Pulver's guard.
And BJ's mount
is very different than most people's mouth. His arm, he's got his arm.
Can he finish with the arm? He said he wants to.
He's got it.
Spinning out is Pulver. Pulver. Can he get away? He did for a moment. Wow, that was close. That was so close.
Very good job by Jens Pulver, but he spun right into a triangle.
This is where BJ is so dynamic, Joe. One of the best in the world. Fastest American ever to achieve a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Looking to lock down on Pulver here. Still tons of time remains in round one. Jens trying to posture up to break it.
And BJ said that he wants to break Jens' left shoulder. And that coincidentally is the arm that he's got trapped inside the triangle.
Pulver with some body shots.
Or not so coincidentally.
Can Jens pull out of this one?
Jens with good posture.
And he does.
Separates. Good job by Jens Pulver.
He has survived twice. Two of the most popular fighters in UFC history. Pulver trying to score some points here in round one.
Pulver's got BJ's pushed up against the cage.
Push off, don't grab it.
You hear Steve Mazzagatti telling him to push off the fence, don't grab it. He would like to spin out of this position and get his feet up against the cage so he can maneuver his body better.
Pulver, ironically, right in front of teammates Robbie Lawler and Matt Hughes. And you see Hughes just in the background, just shouting out instructions to his longtime friend and training partner. Elbow by Pulver.
And Robbie Lawler just jumped out of his seat when he saw that.
The one thing that Jens Pulver wants to do is break the spirit of BJ Penn. He was able to do it in the first matchup. It took a while. And keep in mind, too, Joe, this is a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight.
BJ's looking to stand up, and he does.
And they do. Great first round. BJ with a jab. Jens has outstanding hands and knockout power. But BJ's hands are often overlooked because he's so great on the ground.
Good uppercut right there by BJ.
Pulver answers some questions here in round one.
Good left by BJ and a good left by Jens. Good knee by Jens.
Both men teeing off in the clinch. 20 seconds remains in the first round.
Jens working that dirty boxing with that right hand behind BJ's head. High kick by Jens.
What a way to get started here tonight. It looked like Penn almost had the armbar, but we will move to round number 2. Former welterweight champion, future Hall of Famer Matt Hughes. Jens Pulver. BJ Penn.
You ready? You ready? Bring it on, come on.
Jens said he was reborn.
Jens was getting instruction in the corner from Pat Miletich. He was telling him, be careful because BJ's trying to time you with that uppercut. Right hand by BJ.
Penn.
Oh, good left hand by Pulver.
And the takedown by Penn. You know, the interesting thing is if you remember the fight against John Lewis, one-punch knockout power is what Pulver has in that left hand.
You gotta work on BJ.
BJ must continue to keep the pace that he set in round number 1.
BJ's looking to pass. He's throwing some shots, and he's looking to get to the left side of Pulver's body.
We've seen BJ overwhelm a George St. Pierre and a Matt Hughes early in the fight, and then, unfortunately for Penn fans, fall to defeat. But he claims he has never been in better condition. He's healthy. He has changed his mental and physical game. Motivated by this particular matchup with Jens Pulver, looking to pass again.
He's just about there. Good job by Jens of sneaking that leg out. See how he's doing that? Sneaking that left leg out and using it. Gets that butterfly back in. Very nice job by Jens Pulver.
Pulver trying to strike from the bottom.
And BJ's going to push that leg down and try to mount again.
And he's got it.
He's got it now. He's got the mount in.
Flattening out Jens Pulver. 90 seconds into round number 2.
Jens is taking some shots.
Penn delivering punishment to Little Evil.
He was shook off in the first round from this position, so he's got to be careful here. Jens is constantly moving, constantly making him work. But he's extending that left arm. It's almost like he's inviting BJ to take the armbar.
Well, all BJ wanted to do was have the Ultimate Fighter come to conclusion so he could do exactly this. Try to win against Jens Pulver.
Jens is getting battered here now.
Jens is in trouble here in round number 2. Penn with the full mount for the second time in the fight. Pulver trying to spin. Can he posture up? Can he get out of this? He did it in the first round, Joe.
Well, the only way he's going to be able to get out of here is the back door. He's got to try to shake BJ off and shake him forward. But it's just so hard to do. And BJ's going to try to drag him back. I mean, BJ's mount, his back control are just so good.
Tons of time remains in the second round. Penn wants that arm.
He's flattening him out.
He'll be happy to take the neck.
Good job by Jens Pulver in defending. Oh, BJ trapped his left arm.
This could be the beginning of the end.
That's what I'm talking about with the dexterity.
Looking to finish with the choke.
Oh, that's sunk. That's sunk.
And
that's
it's over!
Oh,
BJ Penn chokes out Jens Pulver.
And a show of respect. Hopefully these guys can put this grudge to bed now. This is it. You know, and that really is the beautiful thing about watching these two guys. All this animosity that they had, this gigantic grudge. And when it's over, it literally is over. They empty all the hate out, and they both hugged and embraced. Let's take a look at the finish again. The beginning of the end was when BJ used his left arm, and I talked about this crazy dexterity that he has with his legs. And I've talked to people that have rolled with him, and they say his legs are literally like arms. As soon as he locks that leg over and traps Jen's arm, then he has one less arm to defend the choke. BJ sinks it in. A very disappointed Matt Hughes watches his friend get tapped out. With the same submission, by the way, that he got Matt Hughes in.
Great point. BJ Penn has defeated Jens Pulver. Both men are so classy, and they show their true regard and respect for each other. As Penn has avenged his most disappointing loss. Back with much more here live on Spike. The former lightweight champion, pure class, Jens Pulver, defeated tonight by BJ Penn. What a relief he must feel. And a sense of pride as he was the more dominant fighter tonight. Took Jens down on multiple occasions. Got into great positions. Almost finished with an armbar there. Found himself able to pass Pulver's guard and achieve, here in the second round, the dominant position with a full mount. Pulver showing that warrior spirit that we've talked about so many times and just surviving as long as he did. But then once Penn got the choke in, that was the end. And as Joe pointed out, the end of a very bitter and long rivalry as both men show great respect for each other. As tonight is a night that belongs to BJ Penn. With the official decision, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Mazzagatti has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 12 seconds of the second round. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, the Prodigy, BJ Penn.
With the win, BJ will be awarded a High Mob watch, the UFC's exclusive watch provider. He will be awarded that right there from UFC President Dana White. What a season it has been, thanks to the great coaching of Jens Pulver and BJ Penn, and BJ wins in this collision of coaches. Joe's in the octagon with Jens Pulver.
All right, I'm here with Jens Pulver. Jens, it was a fantastic first round. It was a great fight, but one of the most important things to a lot of people is it looks like you guys finally got rid of the animosity.
Yeah, I mean,
how can you not respect somebody like that? He just came out there. I gave him everything I had. He kept on me. He put it on me. He didn't go for the easy submission. He tried to beat the hell out of me, and I respect him more and more every minute. Talk to him afterwards. I can't thank him enough, man. The UFC gave me a great show. They gave me a great coach to compete against and a great fighter to fight at 155, and I hope I just redeemed myself a little bit from the last time I fought. Obviously, we know the weakness is the ground. BJ's a savage. He's very good.
Your submission defense was fantastic. You got out of that armbar. You got out of the back control. Now, do you think you needed something like that to really motivate you and really take you back to where you were before?
Not only am I motivated, I just asked the guy, probably not 5 minutes ago, if he didn't mind if I came and trained with him. And he said yes. And BJ, I can't thank you enough for getting me ready.
Well, Jens, that is fantastic, and for everybody to see this, I mean, Bad Blood's always fun to watch, but I'll tell you what, it's even more fun to watch you guys squash it.
Okay, thank you very much. But you know, when you have a show like we did, when we started out in the beginning of this game, and it was growing, we built a weight class. I remember everybody told me when I started, you got to go 170, you got to go, light heavyweight. There is no 55. And I said back then, I go, no, I'll just keep whipping ass. I'll keep fighting hard. They'll create a weight class. VJ came along and just solidified that weight class. And this is almost our way of saying goodbye. I'm going down to 145. I think he wants to go back up to 170. So we just put a stamp on a phenomenal weight class that I hope you guys love, enjoy, and will always embrace in the UFC 155.
Absolutely. The very first UFC lightweight champion ever, Jens Pulver, ladies and gentlemen.
As classy as they come in this business, and so is the man who defeated him tonight, Baby J, the prodigy BJ Penn.
BJ, it really is great to see you guys squash this. How do you feel about that?
If you want to know what BJ Penn feels like, go to bjpenn.com right now.
I guess that's a wrap. BJ Penn, ladies and gentlemen, a man of few words.
You know what? We do know what he feels like right now. He feels like the heaviest weight that could ever be placed upon him has been lifted. Because since the day he was defeated at UFC 35, it burned a hole within his heart. And with the rear naked choke, that hole has finally healed. BJ Penn beats his bitter rival and shows great class in doing so afterwards as he chokes out Little Evil, Jens Pulver. This is a huge win for BJ Penn, and there will be days ahead, certainly, for Jens Pulver. Sean Shirk, obviously the lightweight champion right now, Hermes Franca. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but first things first, BJ Penn was as good as we've seen tonight.
I guess bjpenn.com is the answer to all your questions, ladies and gentlemen, which is, by the way, a fantastic website. BJ's got his own little reality show there where you get to see his gym. Look, BJ's problem has always been, or the one missing link, has always been his conditioning. He solved that. He was in fantastic condition. He looked great at 55. I think it's too bad that he wants to go back up to 170. I'm sure he wants to do it because he wants revenge against Matt Hughes, but you know what? BJ Penn at 155 is a very hard pill to swallow. That's a dangerous guy, and it's as good as he's ever been. I mean, it's really a shame to see him want to go back up to 170.
And Jens Pulver talked about it, a true pioneer in this sport, and a man who was the first ever lightweight champion. He waited so long to get back into the UFC. He's been defeated a couple of times, but he will stick around for a long time.
And you know what? What he said was very important. He said he's going to go down to 145.
Yeah.
And now the WEC, which is a huge organization, it's blowing up right now. They have a 145-pound weight class. And Jens Pulver is a handful for anybody at that weight. He came in tonight at 152 pounds with no weight cutting. I mean, that's really what he was weighing. I mean, when you're that low, that below the weight class, it's not on purpose. He's doing it because that's where his frame, when he's in perfect condition, that's where his frame keeps him. At 145 is perfect for him.
Uriah Faber, watch out if that is the case. And finally, congratulations to Nate Diaz. It wasn't the way he wanted it, but he did gain the moniker of Ultimate Fighter nonetheless.
Yeah, you know what? It's an unfortunate win for Manvel Gamburyan, but, you know, Nate Diaz will be there. You see Nate Diaz, you know, congratulating Jens on a great performance. Nate for sure has a huge future in the UFC, just like his brother does. And, you know, we haven't seen the last of Manny either.
A spectacular conclusion to the Ultimate Fighter 5. And Matt Hughes and Matt Serra will be the coaches on The Ultimate Fighter 6. It just continues to get better and better.
Ends.
Oh, and we will be back in 2 weeks for UFC 73. Joe, great job done again tonight. Stacked it was tonight. Truly a special night for these men who worked so hard on The Ultimate Fighter. Executive producers of the UFC, Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo Fertitta, and UFC President Dana White. Supervising producer, Craig Borsari. And our executive producer, Craig Pelichin. Co-executive producers, Andrea Richter and Ralph Wicke. Director of production, Tim O'Toole. Tonight's show produced by Bruce Connell and directed by Anthony Pasquale Giordano. Been a busy couple of weeks for Alan Connell and the crew. They have done an incredible job, as has Joe Silva. Kevin Kay, Brian Diamond, the leaders at Spike TV, along with Scott Fishman, our executive in charge, help us to put another great trademark on another great season of The Ultimate Fighter 5. Tap outs, submissions. Future stars, perhaps, in a man like Joe Lauzon. Manvel the Anvil against Nate Diaz. This was the finale of The Ultimate Fighter. This was a fight in which round 1 belonged to Manvel Gamburyan. But then an unfortunate injury leads to defeat, and Nate Diaz is our victor. And finally, in our main event of the evening, another one of the most ultimate grudge matches in UFC history comes to conclusion with a rear naked choke. For all of us here at Super and Spike TV, Mike Goldberg saying so long. Until next time, we see you right back here inside the Octagon.